Hello and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown. I'm your host, William Harris, aka William is Bill. And on this show, we cover the games of the night, give you all the fantasy insights and analysis for the day's games. We are presented to you by FanDuel. We are a Sports Ethos presentation. Glad to be back with you guys today. We had a 6-game slate. Nice, quick, short little slate. We're going to get straight to it like there's nothing to it. And hope you all are doing well in your fantasy leagues. Let's go. All right, first game, the Jazz defeated the Cavs 123-112. Yes, you heard that right. Very weird, but the Jazz beat them pretty handily. Lauri Markkanen, after resting last game, 28-12 with 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. And I mean, he's really just too good for this team. They really need to trade him or just try to win. I mean, it's one or the other because they're wasting years of his NBA career. But really good game by Lauri. Cody Williams started 8 points, 3 boards, 2 assists. Now, you look at those stats, and the narrative with Cody Williams is he's a bust. He's a bad player. He's not good. He's shouldn't be in the NBA. None of that is true. He's a super young player. Has all the measurables to be a really productive player in the future. He's really young. And like I said, 8-3-2 doesn't look great. But if you watch the game, he was doing a lot of good things out there on the court. And you kept hearing his name called because he was in the right spot a lot of the time. So he just needs to continue to start so he can continue to grow as a player. So hopefully he will continue to get minutes on this team, significant minutes, not just blowout minutes, real minutes like he did tonight. And he was the lowest minute scorer, lowest minute producer of the starters. All the other starters played 26 plus minutes. He only played 21. And so we will see. I know they're babying Ace Bailey back from his injury. He will get a lot of minutes toward the second half of the season, but Cody Williams needs to as well. Yusuf Nurkic, 11-17 with 3 steals and 2 blocks and 3 assists. The points are nothing to sneeze at, but those 17 rebounds are incredible. And 3 steals, 2 blocks, incredible. Yusuf is still putting up great numbers. Until he gets injured or sat down for developmental reasons, you have to keep him in your lineup. Svi Mykhailiuk started again, 11 points, 3 assists. He's a player that I don't think should be starting. But eventually, I think Taylor Hendricks was a DNP. Walter Clayton was a DNP. Ace Bailey, 15 minutes. Those guys are going to have to get more minutes in the future, and that's going to put Svi on the bench, I would hope. I think they could possibly be showcasing Svi because there's no reason for him to be playing this much. But Keontae George, 32 points, 5 boards, 9 assists, 4 turnovers, 1 steal, 50% from the field, 50% from 3, 4 for 8. Tremendous game by Keontae. He's pushing to be an all-star. He keeps this up. And you have to love the season he's having. Kevin Love off the bench was 11 points, 3 boards, 2 assists. And that was about it. Bryce and Isaiah had 7. Filipowski, huge disappointment once again. 4 points, 3 boards, and a steal in 17 minutes. It's just not good. For the Cavs, who were defeated, Jarrett Allen had 8 points, 4 boards, 1 steal. Now, if you compare that to Nurkic played 30 minutes. Jarrett Allen played 32 minutes. Nurkic had 11-17. Jarrett Allen had 8 and 4. What is going on with Jarrett Allen right now? If Nurkic can do this, Nurkic is a talented big, but he's past his prime. Jarrett Allen, dominant rebounder, dominant shot blocker. It didn't happen. It's not really been happening all season. I don't know if he's had 17 rebounds or anything close all year. So we really need to get that up for Jarrett Allen. And, a lot of players need to step up for the Cavs to be a better team than they are. They're 22-19. They should be at least 5 wins better. Evan Mobley, 15, 9, and 8 with 2 steals and 3 blocks. That's almost a triple-double right there. And then great stats in the block and rebound category, block and steal category, stocks as they call them. But you just want more points. He's got to help Donovan Mitchell with the scoring load. Tonight, Darius Garland did help Donovan Mitchell with the scoring load and had 23 points, 2 boards, 8 assists, 3 steals, and a block. His best game in a long time. Last week, he had no games to sneeze at. This game, instantly, first day of the week, came back strong. We'll see if he can keep it up the other 2 games for this week. Donovan Mitchell, 21-3 with 2 assists and a steal. And it was a low-scoring game for him, but, like, he can't go 35 points every night. So he needs guys to step up, and that's going to be Mobley, Allen, and Garland. Sam Merrill, 14 points off as he started. 3 threes. You know, that's what he's there for, is to help you in the 3 category. Naquan Tomlin was all over the place, very active, a lot of slam dunks, 13 points, 2 blocks, and a steal. You can use that. Jalen Tyson, 11 points, 2 steals, 4 boards in 25 minutes. Solid, but his production is slowly going down. DeAndre Hunter gave you absolutely nothing. Not even worth mentioning, nothing. So this team is interesting. I think they probably need to consider a trade or like a tweak. Not a big trade, a tweak. For the next game, it was a nail-biter between the Pacers and the Celtics. Pacers won 98-96. You heard that right as well. The 9-31 Pacers beat the 24-15 Celtics. But it's a weird night of basketball. Sam Hauser had 8-8. You don't see that too often, and he only made 2 threes, so he would have made more. It would have been a really nice game. Nemi Skata, 15-8 with 2 steals and a block. Derek White, 18, 4 and 5, but also 4 turnovers. Peyton Pritchard, 23 points, 8 assists, 2 steals. Baylor Scheinman started in 20 minutes, only had 2 points, but he did have 2 steals. So as you can see, Jaylen Brown did not play. For the bench, Anthony Simons had 16 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, and no one else really did much of anything. And you see, they still almost beat the Pacers without Jaylen Brown. For the Pacers, Siakam had 21, 8 and 6, and the game-winning go-ahead shot with like 4 seconds left. He also had 2 steals and a block. Siakam is his team at this point. He can score 30 or 40 a night if he was a selfish player. But he went 10 for 15 from the field. I would like to see him shoot more, but he's playing within himself right now. Jay Huff had a great game. He started 20 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He was all over the place with his defense and shooting. He shot 4 for 7 from 3-point range. And, I mean, you have to love that as a center. That is not something you see every day. And it was good to see that they finally trusted Jay Huff, gave him the bulk of the starter minutes. Andrew Nembhard, 13, 6 and 9 with 2 steals. Neesmith didn't do much at all, 6 and 5. Johnny Furphy started, had 4 points, 5 boards, and 1 steal. You can keep an eye on him because he's starting right now. But it's not coming as fast as we'd like. But yeah, Aaron Neesmith, down game, but it is what it is. Jarris Walker off the bench, 11 and 7 with a steal, and continuing his disappointing season, honestly. But yeah, if you don't know, you're listening to the Box Score Breakdown, SportsEthos presentation. You may be listening to us on the NBA Fantasy Today pod. Don't you worry. Doc and Brew will be back later with their episode to give you all the fantasy analysis that you could be looking for. If you're interested and you're loving the Box Score Breakdown, like, subscribe, rate, review, comment, all that good stuff. We record live. I am recording live right now on X and YouTube. I am at William is Bill. We'd love to hear your feedback. I'll get to your comments at the end of the show if we have any. So next game, the Sixers defeated the Raptors 115-102. Paul George, it was questionable whether he was injured or not. He missed last game at the last second. So it's good, I guess he played. It's kind of bad too. Just if he's got anything ailing him, sit him because he's missed so much. But he played. He had 15 and 6 assists with 4 boards. He made it through. Dominic Barlow, 4 and 6, not much. Embiid with the huge old school Embiid performance, 27 and 8 with 4 assists and 2 steals, no blocks. He did have 7 turnovers, 1 for 6 from 3-point range. So if he wouldn't have shot any threes, he pretty much would have been perfect from the field. But it's great to see Embiid scoring 27 points, having 8 boards. That's a really good sign. And he just sat yesterday to accomplish this. So hopefully he won't have to sit anymore anytime soon, but we'll see. Tyrese Maxey, 33, 4 and 2 with a steal. BJ Eshkam, 15 and 8 assists with a steal and 2 boards. Off the bench, Kelly Oubre had 7 and 4. You know, he's an up and down player. You know that's coming. Everyone played except Drummond and Eric Gordon, and no one really did much of anything else on the bench. For the Raptors, this was a weird game. No one really stood out. Brandon Ingram, he was questionable. Last type of minute decision to play. I thought he was out. But he had 17 and 10 with 7 assists. So he almost had a triple-double. But no one scored over 18 for this Raptor squad. Scotty Barnes, 15, 4, 3, and 2 steals and a block. It's just like they were cruising. Colin Murray Bulls, after a huge rebounding game last game, had 12, 7, and 6 with 2 steals. And that's a good performance by CMB. You just want a little bit more. That might be greedy, but he's shown us he can do a little more, so we want a little more. But it's a very valuable pickup, very valuable performance, at least until Jakob Poeltl is back. Emmanuel Quickley, 18 and 6 with a steal. Jamal Shead started, didn't do anything but have 6 assists and 2 steals. But his shooting, terrible. 1 for 5 from the field, 3 points. All right, for the bench player, Sandro Mamukelashvili, 8 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, and a block. AJ Lawson, 14 points. And everyone played on the Raptors, but not much production. It's weird that Grady Dick only played 12 minutes and only had 4 points and 2 assists. It's as if the Raptors have given up on him. I know Jacoby Walter got hurt last game, so that should have opened up even more minutes for him. But those minutes went to AJ Lawson, then Elijah Martin, then Grady Dick as far as minutes. You know, he's the 4th leading minute player off the bench. So that makes him the 9th player on the team. And he was a lottery pick. And he hasn't done anything bad necessarily to be here. So it's just interesting. The NBA is an interesting place. Next game, the Mavs defeated the Nets 113 to 105. For the Nets, Michael Porter Jr., 28, 9, and 3 with a steal, but he did have 6 turnovers. Noah Clowney, average again, 13 points and still in the block. Nick Claxton, average 13, 6, and 5, but he did have 3 blocks. That's what we're looking for from Nick Claxton. Terrence Mann, below average, 5 and 6 assists with the steal. Drake Powell started. That's what we want to see. The rookies in there. 10 points, not much else. Off the bench, Day'Ron Sharpe had 14 and 12 with a block. So Nick Claxton's going to have to step it up a little bit more because Day'Ron Sharpe is right there with him. So if Nick Claxton's not fully healthy, he needs to be coming off the bench, and Day'Ron needs to be starting. But we'll see. This Nets team needs some help. That's all I can say. Nolan Traore, 6 and 6 assists. So that was a really nice game off the bench for him. For the Mavs, Dwight Powell started because Daniel Gafford was a late scratch. We know AD is out. We know Derek Lively is out. So that led you to Dwight Powell. He had 5 points, 10 boards. And I don't expect my guy Daniel Gafford to miss the next game because he was supposed to play, but he does have a sprained right ankle. I don't know if he sprained it in warm-ups or what. So keep an eye out on that. But if he's out, of course you can pick up Dwight Powell, but he's going to do something like this, 5 and 10, but nothing crazy. Najee Marshall had 22 points, 9 assists, 4 boards, 3 steals and a block. Cooper Flagg, 27, 5 and 5 with 3 steals and a block. Tremendous game. Max Christie, 10-5 with a steal. Jaden Hardy started, 14 points, 2 boards. Off the bench, Klay Thompson, 18 points, a steal and a block. Ryan Nembhard, 9 points, 8 assists. Great. And D'Angelo Russell was also a DNP, but that was because he's a coach's decision at DNP. And it's just crazy how he's being treated. They're starting guys that were not drafted over him. They're starting Jaden Hardy, who was a second-round pick. I was high on him, but he still was a second-round pick. And D'Angelo Russell just clearly out of favor with Jason Kidd and the Mavs. And, I mean, Jason Kidd, legendary point guard. What better team for D'Angelo Russell to be on, to learn from, and they're just giving up on him. Not a good sign. He could be traded. We will see. If you can hold out to the deadline, don't drop him. But if you can't, I mean, I don't think he'll play until the trade deadline. And even then, you don't know what type of role he's going to have. Next game, the Kings defeated the Lakers. You heard that right. 124-112. For the Lakers, LeBron had 22 points and a steal with 4 boards and 3 assists. LaRavia, nothing. DeAndre Ayton, 13-13 with 2 blocks. That's what we want to see from DeAndre Ayton. Marcus Smart, nothing but 2 steals. Luka Doncic, 42 points, 7 boards, 8 assists, 4 steals. All around dominance by Luka Doncic. It's got to be really disappointing for him to put up a game like this, have no real support other than LeBron. That's just got to suck. You know, they don't have Austin Reeves, who would help with that scoring load, but got to be depressing if you're Luka right now. Off the bench, Jackson Hayes had 12-5, and Gabe Vincent had 9. Bronny even had 6, but he didn't really get any help off the bench. For the Kings, Precious started again, 9-7 with 2 blocks. You can use that any day of the week. Maxime Renard, 11-4. Russell Westbrook, 22-5-7 with a steal. DeMar DeRozan, 32 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals. And he is in heavy trade talks. So is Zach LaVine, who had 19-4 with the block. Malik Monk finally got some shine off the bench right after Aaron Brewski pretty much said the Kings hate him. They allowed him to get some shine tonight, and he showed out. 26 points, 8 assists, a steal, and a rebound for Malik Monk. He could be doing this every game for them because he's a scoring machine. It's just a matter of what the Kings want to do. So he could be on the move still, but great to see Malik step it up tonight. And last but not least, the final game of the night that ended at around 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. The Charlotte Hornets lost to the Clippers, 117-109. For the Hornets, Miles Bridges, 11-6. Musa Diabate, 13-15 with 4 assists and 1 steal and 4 blocks. Musa is coming back with a vengeance. Brandon Miller, only 13-6 with 5 assists and a steal. LaMelo, 25-9-5 with a steal. Concanipple, 16-5-4. The Hornets played 10 guys off the bench. Let me see. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 guys. Well, they have it listed like 11 guys played, but really 6 guys played. I don't know why they have it like that. But anyway, 5 guys, played off the bench. They just listed everyone that's ever been on this Hornets team all season. But 5 off the bench. PJ Hall did not play. Colin Sexton did not play. KJ Simpson, Liam McNeely did not play. Sion James did, 8 points. Trey Mann, 9 points. Grant Williams, 7 points. Kalkbrenner, only 13 minutes, 2 points. Don't panic. It was his first game back from injury. I think maybe a second game back from injury. I think they're working him in. It would be more concerning if PJ Hall played, but he didn't. So I think Kalkbrenner will continue to steadily get more minutes each game till he's back. For the Clippers, the victorious team, Kawhi Leonard had 35-5. 11 for 19 from the field. He's just continuing his dominant season. John Collins did not continue his dominant run. 3 points in 30 minutes, 5 rebounds. He only went 1 for 4 from the field, though. So it's not like he had a terrible game. He just didn't shoot the ball, which is very weird. Zubac, 9 and 11. Not much else. James Harden went off as well. 32 points, 10 assists, 4 boards, and 4 steals. Great game. Chris Dunn, offers across the board, only 2 rebounds. Everything else literally is zeros. And except for attempts. 6 attempts, 0 makes. So terrible game for Chris Dunn. Batum has 7 and 2 steals off the bench. Brook Lopez, 9, 4 and a steal. And Jordan Miller with 14 points off the bench. And Kobe Sanders with 8 points. So I'll give him that shout out. And again, they have the okay, now it's fixed. they just had the stat line all weird. Maybe because the game just ended. But now let's go into the performers of the night. LaMelo Ball is the performer of the night with 25 points with 9 boards. James Harden, 32 and 10 with 4 steals. Kawhi Leonard as well with 35. Keontae George, 32 and 9. Evan Mobley, 15, 9 and 8. Payne Pritchard, 23 and 8. Siakam, 21, 8 and 6, and the game winner. Tyrese Maxey, 33. Embiid, 27. Brandon Ingram, 17, 10 and 7. Michael Porter Jr., 28 and 9. Cooper Flagg, 27 points and 3 steals. Luka, 42, 7 and 8. And DeMar DeRozan with 32, 6 and 3 steals. What a great night of fantasy basketball. 6 games. You got to love it. We do have a question from Love Miguel. Appreciate you for listening, joining, submitting a question. Love Miguel says, would you do Shea, Huff, and Dre for Sengun, Michael Porter Jr., and Derek Queen on a points league? And if not, would you add Mark Williams on the Shea side, then Hero on the Sengun, and do it? All right. So that's an interesting question. It depends on how shallow this league is. If it's a deep league, that would be the only way I would possibly give up Shea. Because Michael Porter Jr. is killing it now, but if he's traded, more than likely his stats are going to go down. Sengun and Derek Queen should be solid. I mean, Sengun should be great. Derek Queen should be up and down, but mostly really good the rest of the season. But you know, Shea is going to be MVP type numbers. And it would be hard for me to trade Shea. So if you have Sengun, MPJ, and Derek Queen, I would trade for Shea. That's tough. That really is tough. It's hard for me to give up Shea. You know, he's a top 5 player in fantasy. And so if it's a shallow league, like if it's a 10-team, 8-team league, there's guys at a replacement level that will be productive for you. You never really truly want to give up the best player in the deal. But right now you're getting 3 studs back. But you just got to remember, MPJ is not a guarantee. He's also got the injury history. That's a tough trade. If you can deal with giving up Shea and going for it, you're going to get depth if you do it that way. But you're losing the best player. All right, we got another question from Tyrone King 9233. Appreciate your question. Would you do Harden for Sengun and Levine in a 10-team points league? Would you trade Harden? Yes. I would trade Harden for Sengun and Levine. I would do that. Sengun is going to put up dominant numbers. Harden is getting old. And the Clippers are not good. So who knows if he even finishes the year. Levine sometimes can put up some great numbers. But Sengun should be really, really good for you at the end of the year. So I know I just mentioned Sengun. You see right here with the levels that their trades are for. Sengun and Levine for Harden. So it'll be hard for me to give up Sengun and MPJ and Queen for Shea. So that was a perfect question for that. So thank you, Love Miguel. Thank you, Tyrone King. At the end of the day, do what you feel is best for your team, and consider the waiver wire. Look at the waiver wire and see if it's worth it as well, because if there's nobody on the waiver wire, it's something you really need to think about. If the waiver wire is full of guys, especially in point leagues, getting big points in category leagues, looking really nice and juicy out there, you got to consider that. So I just want to say thank you guys again for checking out the box score breakdown, listening live, listening on podcast networks. And Brew and Doc will be back. And like I said, I am at William Isbell. This is the box score breakdown presented to you by FanDuel. And until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.